Hello everyone, my name is Maxine Telford Wolf, and this video that I'm doing this evening is really actually geared more towards the neophyte entrepreneur, the newbie entrepreneur. The title of this video is Chart from the Start, because when you're an entrepreneur and you're new to it, you are actually starting from the beginning, from the inception. And what I want to talk about are a number of things with regards to when you're starting a business, some of the things that you need to look out for, some of the things that you need to do. As you'll notice up here, it says as a beginner, starting your business is like what? Starting an exercise regimen. You have to build up two things. You have to build up your stamina. You have to build up your strength. And you have to do that slowly with an ultimate goal of what? Healthy weight loss. Okay. Well, it's the same exact principle with your business. Again, you have to build up slowly. And the desired goal when you're starting a business and trying to maintain a successful business are, again, two things. Just like the stamina and energy with regards to healthy weight loss, you want to focus on productivity and also be able to obtain financial increase. That's your goal. What is productivity? Okay, well, as you see here, that's the quality of service that you're providing, the quality of the items. Do they measure up? Do they live up to their name? That's very important. Quality over quantity. And then ultimately, financial increase, a return on your investment. Sometimes you'll hear the acronym ROI, and that's what that means for those of you who are new to that. That's the monetary result of the fruit of your labor. You provided a great service or product or products, and you are being financially compensated for it. But apart from that productivity and financial increase, something that's also important to remember that I did not write up here is being able to establish a trust between yourself and the community of people that you are serving. Because when you have earned their trust, you'll also be able to earn and maintain their business. And that's an important ingredient as well. I also wrote up here a little friendly business tip to progress slowly and steadily, because as the saying goes, slow and steady wins the race. Okay? Another thing that's a very important ingredient to remember, especially when starting out, you want to create an outline of your goals, starting off with your short-term, your mid-term, and then your long-term goals. All right? In terms of your short-term goals, you're at the beginner stage, just like an exerciser who's at the beginner stage. Normally within those first few weeks, about 3 to 6 weeks, you should, if you haven't already, created a name for your business, a logo of some sort for your business, and you want to get it legally registered. Now, you can always go to your local city hall, or to make it even more easier for you and efficient, you can complete that process online. Just access that right at your fingertips. And you can actually go to sba.gov. I'm going to say that again. S as in Sam, B as in ball, A as in apple, .gov. And if you have a professional website, you want to make sure to purchase a domain, a hosting service that is low cost and offers options. And a lot of times people will use GoDaddy.com. That's very, very popular, and it is one that is widely used among internet users, among the online community. All right? There are other ones out there. There are other domains, but that tends to be a very popular one because they offer a variety of pricing, and they're also very nice people to work with. They're very professional. Something else that you want to focus on, and which is very important, we know that leads are the lifeblood of your business. But before you can actually obtain those leads, you have to create your target market. You need to be able to zoom in on the community that you actually want to go ahead and market your business to. Okay? So when you're creating your target market, a lot of times that can be kind of a challenge because we don't necessarily know which way to go. But as someone that's new to it, who is a complete stranger to it, what I always suggest to people is use or just create a dummy file, okay? Or a rough draft to plan your document, when you plan to document what your product or your plan or your service is. What demographic area are you going to actually focus on or service? What region? what gender, as well as the age group. And a lot of times we don't really think about that, but it is important. I mean, okay, if you have a set of toys that you want to sell, that you want to market, are you going to market that to adults or are you going to market to children? Same thing with Babies R Us. You're not going to market that to adults. That's going to be geared towards children, even though adults are the ones that make the purchase for it. And that's, again, just an example. And some of it may seem kind of, well, yeah, that's obvious, that makes sense, but a lot of times it's those tidbits that we don't think about because we're so consumed with the other aspects of getting a business going that we forget those important items. So this is just a way to remind you, and again, also to orient you, especially when you're just starting out. Another thing that's important, as I mentioned, with regards to creating your target market. Here's an example. You can actually go to followerwonk.com. Again, that's followerwonk.com, FOLLOWERWONK.com through Twitter. And that's a source that actually also helps you to locate your specific target niche, if you will. They focus on analytics, demographics, etc., all of that. It's a very, very useful tool with regards to helping you locate and really hone in on the target market of people that you want to actually promote your product and your services to, your business to. All right, now we're hitting that middle stage. Okay, if you were someone that was involved in exercise, now you're at that intermediate stage. Remember, I talked about the beginner, intermediate, and advanced. But as an entrepreneur, you're in that middle stage. And with that, just like with exercise, your stamina and your energy have increased, and now your weight has begun to decrease. That's just an example. But in the case of your business, now you're at that point of starting to build a campaign that focuses on what? The concept of attraction marketing. Attraction to the product and service. That is your why. Okay? And in here, this is where you really get an opportunity to expand on who you are and what brought you to this point of marketing these particular services or service. Okay? That's where you can actually give your personal testimony of your use for that particular product or service. There's another saying out there that facts tell, but stories sell. People really don't want to hear that we're a 20-year-old company, that we're publicly traded, that we're on the New York Stock Exchange. Not that those things aren't important, but people really don't want to hear about that. They want to hear about you and your connection to the product. Okay? Because why? People connect with you when your experience is relatable to them. Okay? And that is an important thing. If prospects, as you see, as I put in parentheses, smell a salesman, what are they going to do? They're going to run for the hills. And I said, like the road runner who tries to evade Wile E. Coyote in the Arizona desert. You know, meet. So it's really important that you make sure that you link with people and you give them that information that shows why you're promoting this product. How do you relate to it? What brought you to that particular product? What got you involved? That's what people want to hear. That's what people want to know. There's that human element, and that's definitely something that's important. You don't want to be robotic. You don't want to sound mechanic. You want to sound what you are, a human being who is just like them, but you're promoting this product for this particular reason or reasons. Another thing that's important to remember, as there are so many things that are important to remember, is the benefit of your product or service. And the benefit actually has to do at least two things, okay? As you'll see, I put it has to link to the listener's ears. That's that element of connectivity, okay? And then it has to factor in with your followers. Something that's relevant, something that has a certain amount of importance and value to your prospects, to your customers. And I say through a common denominator or a common thread, and I give an example. Say you have some type of a negative situation that has occurred that yielded a negative outcome. And it could be any number of things, okay? Take your pick. And then there's a service or product that's produced actually a desired outcome, all right? And that's the benefit, okay? Which is what we talked about up here, the benefit. And that caused a response from your target market. That caught people's attention, the benefit, what that outcome did, what that product or service was actually able to do for someone with regards to a negative situation. Now, when that has occurred, that level of interest has just been elevated. It's actually been sparked. That's where that light bulb comes on, that aha moment kicks in for a lot of people. And when that has occurred, Now the opportunity to really build a solid relationship with your customer base has the potential to grow. And that's another important thing that you don't ever want to forget. So now the even bigger question is, how do you maintain that actual relationship once it's gotten to that point? Because once it's at this point, which is still that middle stage, that's a good thing. Because now there's a link, there's a relationship that's growing and building based upon a service, a benefit that's been provided that helps somebody. It's really basic marketing 101, if you think about it. And that brings us to the long-term component, okay, which is something that's just going to be ongoing and for the long haul. That's the permanent part of it, all right? When you're at that point, when you're at that long-term section, you want to focus on sending emails. But let me go ahead and emphasize, okay, when you're sending emails, you only want to send them to people who have what? Specified an interest. Okay, and you can actually use lead capture pages with that. Some lead capture pages are a little bit more affordable than others. There's a whole host of them that you could look up on the internet that you can get. Sometimes they even have lead capture pages that are free, that are downloadable. But it's just good to be able to get your own lead capture page that you can create. Something that really represents and says who you are as well as what it is you are representing. Okay? There's virtually so many to select from. And also with that, you may want to consider using an autopilot or Aweber response for your email platform so that it can perform that function for you ongoing. Research has shown that sometimes people need to see information more than 3 or 4 times to get it into their memory, okay? So it's stored into their long-term memory, because sometimes looking at it one time is just simply not enough, all right? And that's just a part of that psychology of it and the repeat exposure. Also, something you want to remember that's important is you want to give something away for free to show your customer or your prospect that what? You appreciate them. Okay? It's good to personalize and customize your gift. And a way to think of it really is this. The gift that you gave sometimes surpasses the money they save. And the reason being because that person or persons, they're feeling that you went out of your way to what? Acknowledge them. Okay? Your customer base feels that they have been respected, okay? It almost feels like they've won an award for something. And all you're doing is showing your appreciation. And that comes back in a good way, because in return, those customers may become what? Your biggest asset. They become what I like to call a viral vehicle, okay? They get your name and service out there through something I also like to call the TNT effect. With the TNT effect, it's what I call travel through word of mouth, and typing it in the blogosphere. So they talk to different people, they're networking, whether they're at a group meeting, whether they're talking to a person on the phone, whether they're seeing someone in a store, they're oral about it, they're talking to people about it, or they're definitely online using the social network media platform, and they're blogging about your particular item, product, or service. And again, all of that is the result of you as an entrepreneur showing that customer, that prospect, how much you appreciate them and how much you value them. It comes back to you in a